between us and the Council of Ministers is that we are already like-minded. We've coalesced deliberately on policies and on values, whereas the Council of Ministers are thrown together in an almost arbitrary fashion, and it's not of their design. So collective responsibility doesn't work for them, but it can work for us to a certain point.
Well, I don't want to push the matter too hard with you. This is your first day under a party, but Plamon was not a shining example of collective responsibility. And there were very fundamental social issues raised with that, and I would have thought a party with your aspirations would have had a declared policy, but that's...
Well, I think if you look at Plamon, for example, what we all spoke on was the need for social justice in that debate. And voting is binary, but when you listen to the actual words in a debate, the themes were coming out loud and strong. And so there will always be issues where people have strong held views, free votes, etc., and that's an understood part of politics. But when it comes to things which are more fundamental, like population and the environment, and actually the economic growth model, which we critique and we don't think is actually fundamentally working because it's not fair and it's not sustainable, that's when the real environmental and green issues...
Another issue in that was it was this covert political parties which were the National Trust for Jersey, very strong in that, acting as a political party, rallying the troops to vote in a particular way, but not declared as a political party. Now that sort of thing to me is the way the Jersey way, that's the way it operates. There are lots of these pseudo-Jersey political parties who are not declared as such. I mean, you've now declared as a policy. What's going to be the difference in your party? Why is yours going to be a real party, not a pseudo-party?
Can I explain that? The unofficial official party that rules Jersey is a party of the bourgeoisie. It represents the ruling classes. Reform Jersey represents the working people. That's the big difference.
Does it?
That is the intention that it should do so.
That's the intention. There's not much evidence from where I'm sitting that they are yet.
There is a membership that is essentially made up of working people. There are no multi-millionaires who are members of our party, and they're unlikely to support.
Are you effectively the party as constituted, or are you a steering group for the party?
We're on the committee, but there is a parliamentary party of the membership who are states members, and then there's an extra parliamentary body which...
what with the general membership? I mean, you say you've got 20 on the, for as far as the constitution is concerned. What say will they have in what you do in the states?
They will have a say. I mean,
will you be mandated by them?
Yeah, the constitution provides for us to set up a policy council where you'll then form subcommittees. So there might be a subcommittee on tourism, for example, that will go out, speak to people, find out what a good and credible policy on tourism would be. We then put together a manifesto which is put to the membership, and the membership can discuss it at a specially convened meeting.
But the States is already doing all the research anybody could ever want about every subject under the sun. There's stacks and stacks of files sitting at my little flat and down at the Graph of research has been done and ignored on every subject under the sun. There's no need for you to do any more research. The information's all out. You've got stats on it.
Well, yeah, well, we go through that information and derive from it what the way forward is from it. We don't necessarily need to do new research, although some things will need new research. It's about finding out, we've got an idea of something we might want to do. For example, free GP visits for all islanders. That's something we believe in. We need to look at how much that would cost, how you would fund it, what changes in arrangements you might need to come up for it. It's that sort of thing. And once something is presented with that, membership can discuss it.
Do you think realistic membership involvement will be proactive and want to be proactive and want to mandate you with policies?
I think there'll be a core group which will be, maybe 30 people or something like that who want to be actively involved, and there'll be some people who sort of aren't necessarily interested in contributing anything on policy, but actually believe in what we're doing anyway and want to be the ones who go knocking on doors.
Will people have to be members of the party in order to influence your opinions or your actions?
Not necessarily. If what they're saying is credible, makes sense, and has got a powerful message behind it, we'll listen to anyone.
Because I note your constitution says they can't be members of any other party.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, there are lots of quasi-parties, as I've said, like National Trust.
Sure.
If they're members of that sort of party, well, that won't count as a political party, presumably.
No, it would have to be a proper political party. It's another Jersey party. If you're a member of a party in the UK, then obviously that's a different thing. The primary point of our constitution is that it's got a statement of values at the beginning, and there's clauses in it that say you can't join the party if your values are against the values we've expressed in the Constitution, and if your membership will bring the party into disrepute.
This is one of the problems. How do you call into your party, getting people who aren't wholly with you, people like establishment figures, like someone like Senator LeGrady, when he went into the States, he was a fairly libertarian sort of person. He's not so libertarian in office, in ministerial office. He'll be leaving the States soon. Would he be the sort of person, once he's left the state, that you would want to join your party?
I mean, let's move away from what I think is, like, if you look at people like the suffragettes, you didn't have to be a suffragette to actually support their issues, and the people who have campaigned for social justice and change, they can affect change, and sometimes it takes a long time, sometimes it can be done more quickly. And I think it's really about focusing on what are the values and the things that you want to achieve in the long term, and just keep on going about that. Look at discrimination law. 6 years ago, we were in the States, some of us, and we were saying we need a discrimination law, and the answer then given by the Chief Minister was, well, I don't really think we need discrimination law, we just need to teach people to do the right thing. Now it's unquestionable that a discrimination law and framework is the right thing to do, and that's happened within the last 6 years. So of course there will be people who aren't officially members of our party, there will be sympathisers, and as long as we act professionally in an organised way, we will hopefully gravitate people towards our way of thinking. And I think, you know, that's
it's only a few months to the first real general election this island's ever had. Presumably all 4 of those who've declared that this party will be standing as candidates. Things like fundraising are always an issue. Now, you've collectively, the 4 of you, have got about £200,000 coming from states in your salaries. It doesn't sound like as though you need any further funding from the public, does it?
I think that very much underestimates how much it costs to put on a campaign. In the referendum last year, the Option A group spent about £10,000. You know, it's campaigning costs money. You've got to print leaflets. You've got to have decent quality posters that they don't get torn down in the rain and whatever. It does cost money. We've agreed to put a portion of our salaries towards the party every month. We're more than happy to do that. We've got a few donations we've had from people, and we're up for having more donations as well. But yeah, we do need to do some fundraising. We need to, you know, host quiz nights. Reform Day, of course, is coming up at the end of September. We want to do something for that, not just to raise funds, but also raise awareness of sort of.
I'm very conscious that you haven't got long between now and the elections, which are only in October, I believe, to get a party organised, get membership, get funding, and get policies out there, and get potential candidates for however many constituencies there are. Mm-hmm. Realistically, can you present yourself as anything different when it comes to the election?
It's so much easier than you're making it out to be, simply from the point of view that the Reform Jersey States members have been involved in politics for years and years and years.